Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the Canyon. Welcome back to another one of those Wheelin' Wednesday installments. We are making that slow and trudging progression, as it seems sometimes, with the whole filming schedule of Crawlympics. We are now deep into stage 2 at deadline. And here is your group 8, Misdirection, Clank, Zoidberg, and I don't know if it's the first time we've had a ghost ride by a competitor, but it is Eddie over there at the end. If you don't recognize him, we came to a canyon conclusion here that which was holding Eddie back was his big old sport camper body. And we arrived at this conclusion by driving him around for a little while without his sport camper body and going, oh my goodness, he is significantly more capable as outfitted without that body. So that is a Biddy Design Rock One, made specifically for Phoenix. Mounts like Phoenix, goes together fantastically. The clearances are much better all the way around. Approach, departure, all of it. And underneath, he's exactly the same as he was before. No parts changed except bolting. The external little add-on slider pieces are now the Phoenix specific pieces. We were using the ones for Pro and Ultra. Everybody else is configured identically to how you saw them before. Misdirection over there is an elementized Capra. She's not a Capra at all, except for the cage and the shocks are the only parts of her that are Capra at all. Clank is kind of semi-purpose built. He is a mullet, which is the second mullet to run. Is he the second mullet to run? Zoidberg was a Capra. Misdirection and Zoidberg share some bits and pieces in common, or at least they once did. Now Zoidberg bears little to no resemblance to the Capra he was when he began. And then, of course, Eddie is a straight axle Phoenix fitted with a Biddy Design Rock One. We also came to another conclusion earlier, basically yesterday, when looking at the leaderboard, looking at the run list of who goes where, and looking at the date on the calendar, we came to a conclusion that there's no way we're even going to get through stage 3 unless we do a little something. So maybe you could tell by the title, maybe you could tell by the length of the upload, I don't know, but we are here on a beautiful morning. It is about 70 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. It is dangerously blue out. November feeling like, I don't know, I'd give this like a late March, early April feel we've got going on right now. So we figured perfect Wednesday for a double header. We're bringing 89 back. It is groups 8 and 9. Because along with Misdirection, Clank, Zoidberg, and Eddie, who will be running in the order that you see them there, those will be the first 4 to cross the rocks. Following those 4, you're also going to see the entity formerly known as Rattlecat, the Rattler, will be going 5th after those 4. Followed by our man Rusty, who has inarguably the smallest tires of any in the competition overall on 3.93 bounty hunters. Followed immediately by the elder twin brother Tomax, trying to copy his brother's absolutely flawless 29-0 last week. And then closing out this group, last to go of this field of 8, the long travel boy himself, Ghost Rover. I do not think that you could assemble a collection of vehicles more dissimilar, but we do have an overwhelming number of straight axled vehicles today. Tomax and Zoidberg being the only portal fitted vehicles. No one here is running anything super wide. As we go across the sort of cheerleaders pyramid we've assembled, we've got element straights, F10s. We've got a combo AR-44, AR-45 to build the mullet under Clank. F10 straights again under Rusty. We've got the HD-44 clones from Mias under Ghost Rover. Capra portals under Zoidberg. Tomax is rocking Mias portals. And then we have the clone F10Ts under Eddie. So we've got quite a bit of F10 representation out there. Tires, Pink Dot Rovers, S5 XHX pins, Proline boggers, J-Concepts holds, J-Concepts bounty hunters, J-Concepts Big Boy 575 ruptures, cut canyon trails, and closing it out, the tire swap that has also recently happened on Eddie with Proline G8 Aztecs. We've got a little bit of everything. In terms of, we've got 2 cab onlys, 3 full bodies, 4 full bodies, 2 of which are tucked, and then we've got 2 sort of rock buggy looking fellows. We got something for everybody. We got a double header. Who's not happy about it? The camera person. Who's happy about it? Everybody else. Because man, somebody has got a favorite in there. I know Rusty is carrying a lot of weight. He's got Ghost Rover on his head. Everybody should be happy at the end of this. We're gonna see how many full pulls out of 8. After what we watched Vanimal do and Ironsides do, I don't know. I'm not ready to count anybody out. So the run order, one last time, before we head over there about, what do we say? We were 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, about 10.5 meters away. Misdirection, Clank, Zoidberg, Eddie, Rattler, Rusty, Tomax, closing out the group, him on the top of the pyramid, the Ghost Rover. Let's see how we do. So no matter what happens, somebody's got to go first. Misdirection is going to take her giant Pink Dot Rovers and hit the course first. Will they be weakness or advantage? She's also, I mean, she's the best execution of a Capra in my mind, because the Capra is better straight axled than it is portaled. That's my opinion, because we've got Capra axles on a number of vehicles, but I don't think any of those vehicles could be actively classified as Capras. So she takes the best of what Capra has to offer and combines it with giant beach ball tires, straight axles to bring that center of gravity down, a servo that could be more powerful. She has just the right amount of power plant though. Like just enough to where when she's bound, you don't try to stay into it and murder yourself. Also, ooh, don't do it, don't do it. Pink Dot Rovers are pretty great. Yeah, she could use a couple more kilo on the servo. That was so bindy over there, I couldn't push those big tires through it. But she has just the right amount of throttle. She kind of slides and glides the belly a little bit. She's not relying on a huge amount of ground clearance to get her through. Sometimes she will pendulum on you a little bit. Her front end is really heavy compared to the rear. And I have a reasonable amount of wheel time on her, so I kind of know when she's getting out of shape. Very nice. Relying on the Pink Dot Rover here quite a lot. We got to get that through, and then we can drop a reverse right here. We got to get past the trio, and we have escaped. Yeah, that servo's getting bullied around a little bit. Steering is of premium importance through here. I think more so than power. Like, I know cut a little more net side because her belly acts long. It acts longer than it is. As long as that front end doesn't lift. Nope, nicely tidy through there. Come across maybe a little bump there so we don't get dragged out. Hugging tight. Oop, did not see that. Was looking too far ahead on the course. Come around. Net side again. Zero drama so far. Because she's carrying so much weight in the front wheels, it's really noticeable early. Her tip angle, when she's going to roll out on you, comes on so gradually that, honestly, if anybody is kind of weaponized for this sort of a course, it might be Misdirection. She has the approach, the departure, she's just missing breakover as an ultimate weapon. Like right here, we'll see how's that going to pull through. Absolutely no problem at all. I'm hearing barely any protest from the motor, and she runs a tiny little 35-30 in there, and it's enough because she's not heavy. She's short, which helps with her being agile. The tires are big old things. As mounted on here, they pass 60 millimeters wide. Even when her pumpkins kind of drag a little, get a little pre-position there to stay off the fence. She is through there as drama-free as anybody who's run this. I am not kidding. If there were an ability to reward bonus points for just making it effortless, Misdirection would get one of those imaginary points. Very different approach here coming up with Clank. Also relying a bit on the tire for most of his clearance, but he is a proper mullet, so he's got that. You'll notice there'll be a lot less noise of the... Wait, hold on. Okay, it's a fall. But we're starting to question how we're going to approach falls, because we had a guy, was it Ironsides? I want to say Ironsides had a rear wheel touch, but he didn't fall all the way off. I was kind of hoping for that with Clank as well, like maybe he could have rocked himself out without falling all the way off. He was in an unfortunate position. What is a fall? Like if you're all the way, if all four wheels are on the dirt, is it all four wheels? Is it three wheels? What do we call falling off the course? I think you can get two wheels off legally, right? If just one of your ends falls off and without hand of God movements, if you can replace yourself on the course, I think that's not a fall. So he didn't need hand of God movements, but he was all four off. Now he should be able to pull through here more easily because the bogger, stay real slow, don't get too peppery. Same exact, uh-oh. There we go. Same exact spot, Misdirection had issues. But he honestly, I think a little help from a little gozer action there. He was through there even easily. This is that Amazon 2-speed. The 2-speed is what he was using to self-right himself. I'm wishing for Dig in this moment because he doesn't really have, the zip to get through. That's two. His falls are, do they fall into that realm of preventable? Like, could we have stopped those? There are just moments where, like, she felt so super composed all the way. Clank has this thing where he starts to swing, and once he has swung, it's really difficult to tell where he's going to go. He can do, I forgot. Net side is a mullet side, or big, good, strong departure. He's not excellent in breakover. He's got decent breakover, maybe slightly above average due to the mullet. But those are 5.4 inch tall tires, and a lot of that tire is sidewall. So it does trend to the unpredictability. They are on dual stages. Wait! Do you remember what I said where I was like, he gets to these moments. Well, okay, that's where he fell. Clank landed at halfway. We're going to give him one more second, and I want to see, like, look how easy he gets back on the course. If we had gotten it lower, would we have gotten over? Yeah. He is so radically different in experience from Misdirection. This is not what he is suited to do. He falls at 14.5. at this far into the competition, I don't think we're going to see him in stage 3. So we had a full pull and a half pull, and Zoidberg is just hoping to not land in between those. He's going more for the full pull. Big ruptures. Where he gets into trouble is he's 4-wheel steer, and my ability to manipulate 4-wheel steer is poor to fair. So I tend to get myself into more trouble than I get out of. We might be able to get ourselves out of trouble here. Nope. Also, he is a very big boy. So at times, he just simply can't fit through where he wants to fit. Oh, that's not great. There we go. There we go. Definitely enough power from the steering. Oh, I have to take this so gentle because I don't want to just flop him out. Oh, that was... It's about environment is what it is. Misdirection is flat out better at this particular obstacle group than Zoidberg is. Get that down. He is not, however, going to have the same problems where the previous two mired themselves, because, as is his nature, he doesn't have to go where they went. He's big and long, and there's their spot. Okay, there's where they both fell in. We'll put a little bit of 4-wheel steer on it, so it's going to reposition that rear end. And then we're going to fall into the exact same spot because we turned the 4-wheel steer the wrong way. Right through. Oh, man, he did that effortlessly. Big wide, big wide. Use that 4-wheel to get the skid off so you don't have to use excess power. Is he too wide to take net side? Well, he's going to find out because I think we can ride the net itself. Don't fall in. Got chassis hooked. Now, if we can counter steer back. Okay, are we through the net? No. Good, there we go. When you're dealing with this kind of width, you kind of have to approach it differently than others. Not an immense amount of breakover on him. Are we looking for Zoidberg chassis iteration number 5? Are we looking to move his skid forward a little bit? Yeah, maybe. Because we need to use some throttle application to get him off of there, but not enough to get him in big trouble. Was that enough? That was enough. He's tricksy. You got to remember his wheelbase is long. And we've got folks with wheelbases similar in length without the amount of width that he has. Okay, that was wrong. That was wrong. There we go. Okay, 4-wheel steer I should be able to use in such a way as to keep him from trying to swing that front end back down, which should cut right here. Cut right here. Yes, 4-wheel steer. There's a difference in effort that I cannot overemphasize. Zoidberg is a handful. I mean, when he gets out into the terrain that is more his wheelhouse, yeah. Oh, right there, right there. Cut it back, cut it back, cut it back. Okay, not too much. Woo! I believe, either in my head or in reality, someone has asked, where do you land? Is it dig or is it 4-wheel steer? If I have to pick one, it's dig. It's dig. 4-wheel steer has this learning curve that I apparently can't learn because he makes a 575 rupture look small, doesn't he? There haven't been more than a moment or two where I've felt, uh-oh, It's getting hairy, but I think that's because I'm used, that front end of his chassis hangs up like a fish hook. It might be redesign number nth. That is if we want to super weaponize Zoidberg, you know. Nope, get out of it. He is a fixer though. If something bad starts to happen to him, my goodness, can he correct it? Do I want that way or do I want this way? I wanted that way. And how I arrived at which direction I wanted to turn the rear wheels is the direction that I initially thought was correct was the wrong one. So when I turned it the other way, we got through. Now we correct back the other way, get it back to straight, get out of that hole, through here, hug post. Even there's that fish hook of a skid. Okay, we have an opportunity to get into a bunch of trouble here. We're going to use four-wheel. The memory that four-wheel steer exists to get through there. Yeah, he didn't do it the easiest, okay? Some spots, he did it effortlessly. Some spots, there's an, like, my CPU is getting hot because I have to overfocus. There we go through there, and there we go. Zoidberg felt it obligated, that he was like, I am sort of a Capra. I got to do Capra stuff. Closing out the first half, the last to run in Group 8, Eddie never touched the ground in this configuration. Not the body, not the tires, not all of the collection of things that he has. This is his first time out. And as such, you know what? Everybody gets a free one. That was Dig that threw Eddie out of shape. If I hadn't dug the dig right there, would he have made it? Well, we're going to find out. We have this, there's a sentimental thing that I can't explain for Eddie because he is a straight axle Phoenix, and for whatever reason, I'm a Portal Phoenix guy. So we're going to give Eddie, we're going to give him that one. If he falls 3 more times, he's out. But that one, full mulligan. It's not unprecedented. We've done it before. He was formerly on very softly inserted canyon trails. We swapped him over to Aztecs on an insert that I cannot remember. I want to say Canyon Customs. I think he's got softs in there. And they have been very good in the very small amount of time that I've wheeled it. This body was finished and assembled on him, I mean, in driving terms, since the last time he touched rocks. In terms of pure temporality, about 2 days ago. He feels great. He really does. This is the best Eddie has felt out on rock, I think, ever. Oh, he's going in. He's going in. He's going in. Eddie was like, I'm not taking a fall right there. I will risk life and limb to try to hang. I'm wishing that he had portals this whole time. But the dig, I will take me some VFD twin dig. Get your slider off, dude. We're using all of the tools here. Pull, pull, pull. Pull, pull, pull. I'd like a little more. You can reverse it. Okay. Again, we're having a very dissimilarly similar Zoidberg situation in which I'm having to use excessive mind force, particularly relative to what Misdirection did. I think everybody's just going to hug net side today. We're going to see how net side works. Ooh. Ooh. This only hasn't paid off for, well, two people. This hasn't paid off for 2 people. Yeah, Eddie doesn't have the articulation, I don't think, to get through there. And hopefully we can pull him. Okay, we're gonna try big. Oh, that helps. That helps. Eddie is using all of the Phoenix tools right now. He's in big overdrive. We did a big dig there. Okay, off that. Oh, very nice. Using the slender hips through there. Very good. Back to 6. He's got enough articulation here. Breakover is good enough. Approach and departure, so much better than how he was outfitted before. This is the acid test here. He had not been configured this way the last time he was on the rocks. We're gonna, you know what? I think it's big. I think big is the key right through here. 46% pull. Rear end staying absolutely stuck. He got a bit of tree there and didn't have any problem. All right, we're figuring him out. Is this unfair to a guy to take him effectively untested? This is a ghost ride by Eddie terms. Eddie has been here for a minute, but has never driven this well. Just plain and simple. I know everybody loved that Sport Camper body, and I was fond of it as well. But Eddie, as soon as Eddie saw the glimmering gleam of that mulligan, he was like, oh, really? Well, I'm going to run this then. And he is. Cut down. Ooh, he was tipping. So right there, can we get it up? Yeah! I thought we might have to go to Big Dig to pull up across. Absolutely good. Absolutely good. Light at the end of the tunnel. We're getting into the real chop here past the last tree. We just need approach, not to bind. Excellent. Okay, straight over. Use your snake hips, skinny waist. Don't auger your roof in. Nice. Didn't even have to go to the 46. Scooted through nicely there. Big lizard hanging on the net. Eddie was real iffy early on and absolutely pulled it out. That mulligan, I do not think it is unfair on any level. I think it is absolutely warranted as going out cold. I mean, if we wanted to be kind of fair, he would have run 8th, and that still wouldn't have helped. 29 and if you wanted to call it 29 and 1, you could, but I think Eddie did fantastically on the day, though not nearly as easy as some others. We're heading down the backside. Good old Rattler. How planted is Rattler gonna feel? I don't know. No idea. Rattler does not have an absolute surplus of wheel time. What was that? Saw some leaves out of the corner of my eye. I got all confused / distracted. Nice, nice, nice. Is this our first pairing of XHX pins and dig? It might be. Slow, slow, slow. Good. Is that a B? B. Got a B. RS700. This is the old this is the non-V2. This is the old RS700. It's a little slow compared to the new one. And I can make that pointless complaint because I have the high-speed gear set in a bag, and I've had the high-speed gear set in a bag for like a year, but have never really felt motivated to take stuff apart and swap the gears out. Maybe I should take stuff apart and swap the gears out, because I guess we had just never gotten to a point where I felt like I needed that extra speed. Will the XHX hold on this edge where everybody else fell in? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. That was what... Memory is fleeting, but it definitely felt like that was the easiest through. Oh, parked it. Absolutely parked it. There we go. We should be able to get pretty low here with him. That's a big slip right there. Will the XHX pull it? I'm not going to trust it. We're not going to put him in a position. We're going to hook the opposite side of that. We're not going to put him in a position where he gets super out of shape when he doesn't have to. There it is. There it is. I didn't know. I mean, I don't think an S4 pin makes it through right there. There are definitely moments of strength and weakness for the S4 and S5 pins. And I think that that is a one that definitely trends towards the XHX because it's got some side lug on it. Rattler just moving, doing the things. And he is one that when we get that, his ground clearance is not tremendous, right? 3D printed in the XHX. He's using all of it. No, careful, careful. A little more on the top side. There you go. He's a lot more stable, running 100s front, 110s rear. It's a lot more. He's more stable in the situation when you would think he would be less stable. Rear end, he can kind of throw it around, and the nose, once you get clearance, the nose will just pull the rear end behind it. Again, a little bit of hang-ups, leading edge of the skid. It is to be driven to a little bit. He is not particularly, he doesn't get squirty. He'll get some hang-ups, but once you accommodate for that, the clearance issues, Class 1 guys are just like, yes, and. He drives like his tires are shorter, basically. Like his CG feels lower than it actually appears. There we go. But I do, you do and will stick pumpkin into a lot of stuff. He should have no issues approach or departure through here. The RS700 makes plenty of juice. Should move the front end around. It's just a little slow, kind of accommodated to it. I can't decide which it has been. Oh, XHX likes some dig. Even with the rear tires in dirt, that slid through there really nicely. He runs narrow. He feels narrow. Terrible entry by the pilot there. Comes up across. Never tried to lift that high side. Rattler, honestly, clearance, I mean, it's part of him. Lower clearance, but his CG is way down. He was like the second easiest one to pilot through here, because even when he got stuck, it never felt like, uh-oh. So this definitely only occurs once in the fleet. TRX4 gearbox, mated to straight axles and 393s, full bumpers, full body, big sliders. Rusty has got his work definitively cut out for him because he has no advantages out here other than just an utter inability to say die. That is one of the trademarks, the hallmarks of Rusty as a rig. And he's like, oh, so I hear that the other class 1s didn't do well out here. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, that's because they're weak. And then proceeds to mash. And nope. He was hoping that maybe he could grab some net. He's not grabbing any net. Provided he can keep rubber side down, that's a hole we've seen people fall into before. getting your full width bumpers over obstacles on 393s is not easy. Okay, we're gonna have to. He felt it coming. Rusty will make his own route. Okay. We do not have the approach. We do not have the departure. We do not have the breakover. We've got a TRX4 gearbox mated to F10s, powered by a 760 kV outrunner, because we're trying to get, I mean, he should probably run on 2S. Now he does think, you got this, you got this. Oh, he is one of the kings of self-righting. And he had this idea that he could just slide on his roof along the net, and he was not wrong. Yeah. It's like if somebody showed up out at the rocks in their completely unmodified for off-roading Chevy pickup and then just blasted. That is Rusty. Long belly. Coming up on halfway already. Down through. Yeah, if reverses are penalized, it's either a very long day or a very short day for Rusty, because getting that bumper unstuck I mean, he'll do it. He'll absolutely. Oh, I saw it. I saw it. That was a release all controls and live moment. Okay, the 393 should not be pulling through right there, but they are. Okay, was that just an optical illusion, or does he have one corner whose suspension? No, I guess he's fine. His suspension there on driver rear for just a second looked like something was amiss. But we're powering through. Ooh. Yeah. I'll say though, it might be the most amount of mind force you have to use, because you have to be so aware of where every part of him is. He acts like his CG is 4 inches below the ground, but he also acts like his pumpkins are at any given moment physically touching the ground, which they almost are. How he's gonna get through the dirt bucket over here, I don't know. I don't know. Most people go straight over because they can. I think his best and only chance, bumpers in already. His best and only chance is a hug line as far left as we can get right here. We've got to try to get that bumper over. Right there, right there. You got to use your strengths. Don't reverse, don't fall out, don't fall back. Right there, dude. That is the Rusty line. No one else should, would, or possibly could make that other than Rusty. And I have to say, all right, we're not there, but we're almost there. We're very well almost there. Of the class ones, is this going to be it? Nope, not Rusty. Honestly, he kind of felt the most capable at it, if that makes any sense at all, because he's not carrying the big weight that Ironsides is. He doesn't have a giant van sitting on top of him. He's got tiny tires, full bumpers, full bed, full everything. And what do? Rusty. 6 down, 2 to go. It has been a day of full pulls. Zaymont bested his brother Tomax at Mavericks. And I think Tomax is probably taking that personally. That was aggressive. But he pulled that line pretty much no problem. Brushed rigs are the smallest number here. That's not true. In runners are the smallest number here. We don't do a whole lot of in runners. Followed by brushed, and in the brushed category, people not running big blocks are the minority in brushed. We love a Surpass 5 slot. This is the inexpensive Hobby Wing combo with the 30 turn, 40 turn. They've got the one in here you wouldn't ordinarily buy. What's the one you wouldn't ordinarily buy? It's that one. Okay, this feels right in the middle. Like dead center, right in the middle. It's not overwhelmingly easy. He will find a line and he can attack that line. Sometimes getting the entry into that line is a little tough. We are kind of underpowered. 1080. I cannot extricate right here. There we go. Don't trend towards insanity. If you can't get it to cut the line you're trying to cut a different line. Who did I say did best across that little transitional area there? Was it Rattler? It's Tomax now. That was clean through. And these are, I had noticed this somewhat recently. This is iffy. And I don't remember what line Zaymont ran. There we go. These guys are, if in effect, if you look it through just the right lens, interpret it just right, these are poor man's ultras. Because we've got full VS410 chassis, Phoenix takeoffs basically from Phoenixes being converted. Mated to Mias portals and Element Stealth X's in the middle, which is just a nice 3-gear for you, a nice quiet 3-gear. Some nice inexpensive brushed combos, which, I mean, nowadays, we're sticking with brushed combos for flavor and variety. If you're a fan of Doritos, you don't want to eat one flavor forever. That's why Doritos come in like 37 flavors. So these guys are 3-pole brushed. Tomax and Zaymont are 3-pole brushed, 3-slot brushed, I'm sorry. And we like it. They have a performance profile and characteristics super nice through there. He drives on the one hand with the familiarity, the feel of a straight axle, but he pulls through like, you know, there's 100% a portal under there. You can't mistake there being portals under there. And the Mias are fairly close approximations of center pumpkin F10s. So that trends a little bit more to the poor man's ultra feel of them. If you are a Phoenix owner and you have LCG'd, if you flat railed, you know, Zoku'd your Phoenix and you've got that VS410 laying around, get yourself a skid, get yourself a 3-gear, throw some Mias nylons under there. You can put yourself together a rig on the cheap because you don't have to buy a chassis. That is a $16 RC Lions, I was trending it, RC Lions Amazon link kit. Full stock sliders, canyon trails, nothing fancy at all. And what do we do with nothing fancy? We do the things. Tomax was not gonna let his brother run away from him. He's gonna have to go high there. Kind of use a rusty shuffle to get through there. That tucked body, not an advantage right there. Rusty's big Chevy, the advantage right there. Through easily. Tiny little bits of lug noise of those canyon trails rubbing up on that body. But we do it again. We get the two-way tie between the brothers. No matter, we're gonna reset the full order when we get to stage 3 because the brothers are going head to head. 8 of 8. What do you get when you take a crazy chassis, straight axles, a Phoenix cab, J Concepts holds, and absurdly long travel? Well, what you get is, like, right there we would have gotten upset. Like he would have gotten bumped out right there. But because his hands and feet, what are the front tires on a car anthropomorphized? If you made a car into a person, are the front tires the hands? Ooh, that front tire is getting. Okay, something has happened. I see it. We're gonna we need to pause. Do you see his pin? His pin is shoving into his driver front tire because somebody forgot to put a clip in it. If you were to ask me how many Phoenix cab pins I've lost, there's one in the desert. I have no idea where the rest are. Long travel, reaching down, grabbing the ground, and pulling it up. Does he have the best breakover? It's pretty good. It's good enough to get away with the HD 44 straights. That was a little more zazz than I wanted to put into it. How different does this guy feel compared to the guy that ran before him? It's insane, basically. Whoa. Whew. There are some gut check moments here. The exchange of portals for an immense amount of travel. A VS410 chassis has a trail truck amount of travel. This guy has got too much, arguably too much, but he really does make it work. We're way too high on that side there. Is this iffy? That's a really bad approach. So we remember, reverses are not penalized here on deadline. It's real slow. Using that hold. Ooh, that's really bad. It's really bad. He's pushing, and the hold saves it. I got him way down too far. That was way too far down. Oh, and then he squirts right through. Hey! But some long travel action here. Who can cut the fastest line through here in the middle? Ghost Rover will try. Oh man, that chop right there. If you want to see somebody act like they don't have straight axles, watch him maneuver this chop. And then a little bit of an extension on the wheelbase, which is why he doesn't run the cage. Gets into the chop. He should have, I'm forecasting no issues through the dirty old bucket over there. To the point where, okay, all right, slow it down, Ghosty. You're getting a little spicy. He's like, I just want to get to the hard part so I can get through to the easy part so I can go home. Yeah, he has definitely got that feel of alloy straight axle CG. Into the bucket. Hopping up out of the bucket. Bumper clears by a lot. Pulls that rear end through, you know it does. Are we gonna have to sidle or are we just gonna pull it? Got a little cab hang there. Okay, so the self-right to avoid a touch is gonna put him into a position that he's gonna have to figure out a creative exit from. I need a better look at this. There we go, there we go. Use all of that J-Concepts hold there. Okay, bumper's a little hangy. That little rock right there. Whoop. That down, little maneuver back. Just need to pop that skid off, right? Come on. There we go. Okay, drop that rock. You don't need to take it with you. Up through the cut. Anybody that's gotten down there into murder hole down there has not fared as well. People have ended their day in the murder hole down there. And the long travel, the lanky armed boy just punches through. I said I didn't know if we'd have a day where we had 4 go 29-0, and I figured out a way to beat the game. Just run 8. So there you go. Here we go, and here we are. Groups 8 and 9, the power of 89. There's a trick. As I said, you can game the system. I thought we were never going to see a day where we had all 4 go 29-0. And we still didn't. In the first group, Clank made it halfway, fell 3 times. His CG is just not okay. Part of these are these are exploratory missions. Who needs tuning? Who needs what done? Clank of this group is the guy that needs tending to. Does anybody else need tending to? I mean, Rattler servo would be nice if it felt faster, and I have the gears for it, so that's on me. But from worst to first, our poor buddy, somebody's got to finish last. Clank is finishing last. He made it 15 meters. He fell 3 times. Rusty made it 29 meters and had to be extricated a singular time due to a full body and full bumpers. But nevertheless, proved himself to be the king of the tiny tired, going 29, falling just once, and he would have tried. He couldn't get his tires to touch the net. He couldn't get himself extricated. And then, if you want to count the fall early on of Eddie, if you want to take his mulligan away, he was 29-1. I think it's absolutely fair to give him a free one because he has never been wheeled in that configuration. He is well and truly a ghost ride in a competitive situation, which is never good. So pulling a full pull on it means the tires are working, the body's working, all of the things are working. I don't think there's anything on him there that needs immediately tended to. So we basically had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 29-0s. I have a 0/1 written next to Rattler, as in you could take something away, and I don't remember why. So it's going to go down as a 29-0. 6 rigs go 29-0 out of groups 8 and 9, which shouldn't be that surprising. We're getting the ones that finished in the middle, right? So if they were worst or they were first, we're now overlapping, because this right here, double group combined. And with the double group combined, we had to. Because how do you not run Zoidberg and Rusty on the same day? Can you make 2 rock crawlers more different? And they have the same speed control and the same motor. Zoidberg runs the 900 kV version and Rusty runs the 760 kV version. These are all rigs there's a lot of S tier in this group. Like rigs I couldn't part with. They are part of the canyon. They're either too full custom or super specific. Rusty is just this collection of parts that makes you go, but how? Like how does that do that? How do 393 bounty hunters and no gear reduction make it through there reasonably efficiently? I don't know. So the top of the board is now definitely getting clogged up. This is 9 groups, 9 times 4, 9, 18, 27, 36. We now have eliminations. We are to the point of where we're at eliminations. The rigs that are appearing at the very bottom of the leaderboards have been eliminated. Clank, I think, is going to be down there. I think he'll be on the bubble, but I don't know. My brain seeks to see who are in groups 10 and 11. I don't know. I know Eski's in there, so we don't anticipate Eski being down near the bottom here. Clank is probably not going to make it, and that is okay, because that just means Clank needs work, Clank needs adjustment, he needs tuning, he needs that last 5% to get to where he needs to be. Meanwhile, everybody else, I mean, 6 out of 8 go 29 and 0-ish, and Misdirection, Zoidberg, Tomax, all made it on 0 with no question marks. Like, they just full pulled. So we had a good day. That's a lot of 29s on there. And somebody had to finish last. Clank did it the hard way. So we'll get them. Hopefully those scoreboards have been up. It is starting to get warm. Filming a double, not recommended for everybody. It does take a hot minute, and as you can see by the nest of radios, right behind which you can only see the pile of batteries. But somehow we made it through. The leaderboard clogs up ever further with the 29 and O's, but we're taking the top 2/3 of the group to group 3. And then from that, we're taking the top 2/3 of that to the final finals. So the final finals are going to go real fast, because we'll have basically, call it 10 groups here. We'll be down to 7 groups for that. And then out of that, it's basically going to be whittled down to 3 groups. So it'll be like 12 rigs run the finals. And then we'll find out who wins Crawlympics, but all that matters really at the end of the day is who won your heart. And on the day, it's gotta be Rusty, right? If you come out 393s, metal bumpers, the sliders turning more silver by the day, there's a reason that I am repeatedly told in comments that he's a fan favorite, because he never says die. So thank you so much. We, the entire group, the camera toter over here who I blitzed, I didn't tell them that they were going to have to film 8 rigs. So I dragged them out here. I made them do it. They got bit on the bottom of the foot by an ant. We had a good time. We'll have good times in the future. I hope that you do indeed tune in for whatever we happen to have next. We look forward to seeing you. Thank you for joining us, you loyal few, here on every Wheelin' Wednesday from now until whenever. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. And you almost thought I didn't say it, but in between now and then, please one and all, do your very best to have a good one. Everybody, we'll see you again here from the canyon. It's getting hot. Have a good one.